What's up? This is a little addition to the last video. I thought I did this part of the video, but I remade it. I just kind of left a chunk out. But the sound should be working properly on this one. Or better than on the other one. Now, I call Katie's opinion a cunt. And I failed to explain what I consider to be a cunt, and what I think is an important explanation. A lot of women don't like that word, but that's unfortunate because it's really a good descriptive word for certain types of women. Take this story for example. All right, this shit happened to me when I was in high school. Sophomore year, junior year, I don't know. I happened to be wearing all black that day. I had these shitty black sweatpants that were all fucked up. That I wore them to work, and I had to go to work right after school at the restaurant. I was washing dishes at the time, so I just wore them to school. I said, "Fuck it," and I happened to be wearing black hoodie. And I'm sitting at the table with my friends or whatever, and a fight almost breaks out. And one of the guys that was involved was this guy that I considered to be a douchebag. I didn't like this guy. He was one of those popular kids. I don't know. It was probably something left over from middle school, because I know I hadn't spoken to the kid in at least 2 years. Anyway, I made a comment to one of my buddies. I was like, it was Adrian. I said, Adrian, I wish I could have seen so-and-so get the shit kicked out of him. And apparently his girlfriend heard me, right? And she came over screaming at me. She's like, blah, 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 you goth, emo, faggot, blah, 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 faggot, faggot, faggot. Women love to throw that word faggot around. They're really homophobic when they try to insult men. I don't know what's up with that. It's kind of bizarre. But all that shit, like, and tomorrow my boyfriend's gonna beat the shit out of you, and blah 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 blah. I'm like, shit. So I figured, if this bitch is that much of a cunt, her boyfriend can't be that much better. So I came to school the next day fully prepared to have to get into a fight with this kid. I figured, I'll let him start it, so maybe I can talk my way out of too much bullshit afterwards. But so I'm sitting at the lunch table. I'm waiting for this kid to come over. Sure enough, he stands up. He walks over to the table. He sits down across from me and leans in close, and he's like, man, listen. I'm really sorry about all that. I don't really give a shit what you said. Listen, my girlfriend's a cunt. All right, she pulls this shit all the time. I'm only with her because she puts out blah, 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 all this shit. And it was really an interesting experience. On another interesting side note, I recently learned that those two were married, so who knew that they just recently got married. But that's an example of a cunt. And the strange thing, there's this weird thing that goes on in society with women. Women are still raised sort of, if not that they're taught that they're the weaker sex, they're taught that they're the gentler sex. And all that shit. That's why you're not, selling toy guns to little girls, and they don't play with G.I. Joes and spaceships and shit generally. But at the same time, they're taught to be strong women and all that shit, and that's great. But the distinction between what is a strong woman and what's a cunt is not fully recognized. And a lot of women get that confused, and I think that's why there's so many cunts walking around. I think that they're trying to do what they think they should be doing. They think that that's what makes them strong. Being a bitch makes them a strong woman, and that's just not true. Any of the strong women I know are not like that. That just makes you a cunt. A strong woman wouldn't need to be like, my boyfriend's gonna kick your ass, blah blah blah. A strong woman wouldn't need to get up in your face like that. Being aggressive doesn't make you strong. It's not the same thing. And, it's another example of women taking on some of the worst stereotypical behaviors of men in order to, in their mind, be strong. And that's just not the way to go. And I think that's an important distinction. And that's something that is a result of our culture. These cunts walking around are a result of our culture. And the asshole men walking around are a result of our culture. They're partially a result of this, myth that you have to be an asshole to get women. Because, like I said before, it's all about charisma. But a lot of these men don't realize that's what it is. They think it's being an asshole. But when the assholes have the market cornered on charisma, they're going to get the women, at least in the early stages. So I think that's an important fucking thing to mention. And somebody commented on the last video about trying to deal with the opposite sex is so frustrating that I just don't even care anymore, and it's true, it'll do that to you, but that's part of the reason we have so much apathy in this country, and a lot of people just give up, man, and a lot of that is a result of all this bullshit that's fused together in our society to create what you see around you. So, for future reference, if I'm ever to use the word cunt, the aforementioned types of women are the ones that I'm categorizing. Right? So, my main message would be, girls, being a bitch does not make you a strong woman, and guys don't like that. At least most of the guys that I know don't like that at all. That's not going to help you. It's probably only going to get you an asshole, if you want my honest opinion. So that was just a little addition to that. I'll fucking talk to you